Hey everyone, Chris Mack coming at you today with Blackest Nights, issue 7. And this book opens up in such an awesome way because we saw with the last issue, the Spectre was basically whisked away by Necron because he doesn't have a soul to judge. So spoiler alerts if you haven't seen it, but we've already gone over that one. Now Necron's getting ready to make his stand here on Earth. And listen to what he has to say to the Guardians. You are the oldest living beings in our universe, thereby making your connection to the white light strongest than any others. Yet you bury it as deeply as you bury your emotions, like those on this world bury bones. Why have you spent eons fighting so hard to protect life when you don't live it, creature? Why do you vow to guard the universe? And right there, at the imminent point of this Guardian's death, they go, I do not remember. And he sheds a single tear. Which, if you've read Green Lantern, you know that the Guardians have shrugged off all emotion. And so seeing one actually look in fear and cry at the point of its death, that's saying something. And kind of kills me is before we can get any more of that, we're kind of thrown back into the fighting. And it starts to feel a little redundant in certain regards. But before we dive into that, let's talk about who made this book. This is Jeff Johns writing, Ivan Reyes doing the pencils, Auclair Albert and Joe Parado doing the inks, Alex Sinclair colors, and Nick Politano doing the lettering. And so Sinestro here says, how shocking. Our beams are as useless against Necron as they are the Black Battery. If anything, he's enjoying this. To which Ganthet says Necron enjoys nothing. And Atrocitus calls him and says, neither do the Guardians, not like my people once did. I felt joy long ago, Atrocitus, and I'd hoped to try again, but it's not meant to be. And it's just interesting how Ganthet's the only one that has wanted to re-embrace the emotional spectrum, hence why he's kind of the wild card of the Guardians and why he's kind of a fan favorite as well. But Blackest says, all my life I've watched others more beautiful and blessed. Like life favors some, ignores others. But our respective standings are irrelevant when it comes to death. In death we are all equal. We are all silent and cold. And so Blackest says that he's going to make this personal for himself, which when you read the comic, he has like diary entries at the back. And I know it's supposed to add to why he became William Hand the Black Hand. But to me, it's just like a big emo kid's diary is all it sounds like to me. So I try not to breathe too much into that, but I'm just, every time I read the ones by William Hand, it's supposed to instill this kind of terror about who he is. But I just want to say, do you need a hug there, Black Hand? Just certain things like that. So what kind of happens here is, again, more infighting. Scarecrow's talking about how he's enjoying the fear. And he says he's going to try to take Necron out. And, of course, Luthor says, no, it's me. Give me your ring. It gets a little redundant from the last couple of issues, but it's all right. Because what happens next is John Stewart is bringing all the dead from Xanshi to the planet. And when he thinks that he is outnumbered, the Green Lantern Corps arrive from Mogo. And that splash page is just absolutely gorgeous. And Guy thinking he's going to get a moment's respite so everyone that can rally, he just goes, oh, hell, because he realizes what he's getting into. And then everyone kind of saying, how are we going to work together as one core? And so it's kind of neat how they word it so that they're not repeating the same dialogue over and over in the book. Each color, the emotional spectrum, basically wraps up the letter and shows how it's being worded in each core's ring. So it's kind of a neat little way to show how everyone needs to work together or the world is going to end. Now within the Black Battery, there's a mysterious figure that is trapped, and we don't get a whole lot of answers. It's a little frustrating. And then we finally figure out, because the Black Lantern's whole goal is to silence the universe and bring it back to darkness before the emotional spectrum and the white light was brought into being. And that's kind of how what Necron wants to sacrifice, because you kind of find out how the Guardians have lied and made a long-time fan favorite character look like a liar in the eyes of his core, his best friend, and it tips Sinestro over the edge to the point that he kind of says, you know, you had your chance to sacrifice yourself, Jordan. It's my turn. And we kind of see what Sinestro does and what it means to finally fend off this black plague that's invading the entire galaxy. So if y'all have enjoyed what you've seen in Blackest Nights issue 7, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is that can get your comics and action figures. And if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little emotional spectrum bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, I hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.